Okay, I hope my audio is coming through okay. Everyone can hear me. If someone can type in chat, make sure we're all good there. I think I got the right chat window completely open. I don't like how my keynote is taking. I got three monitors here, just so everybody kind of visual of what I'm seeing here, and it literally takes over everything, unfortunately. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone that has been able to log in so far. Hope the experience was okay anyway. Because we are starting I am using a new service here called it's kind of a startup company. I think it's out of San Francisco. Zoom US, which is or .us, which is actually a pretty cool little service. It's real simple on the presentation side. I'm hoping your side was equally easy to get logged in and whatnot. But today we're going to be talking about cracking encryption using Hashcat. So obviously everyone is going to be having some issues with encryption if you're in digital forensics or if you're in cybersecurity. There's issues if you want to gain access to data and information for any type of investigation. So that's what we're going to kind of walk through here and show you some of the things that you can do. Now, literally, I have 30 minutes to give this presentation, and this is kind of an offshoot of one of our main courses, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. But I guess you want to know who in the world is giving this presentation to you, who we are, kind of the things that we do. AVAIRY Forensic Solutions, we're digital forensic practitioners. We've all the people that either teach a class for us or do some work has been in the digital forensics field for quite some time. They've done that as their career. And they're subject matter experts for that matter. So hopefully, obviously, we don't know everything there is to know possibly about digital forensics, but hopefully we can help you out if you should need some help. Probably the most important thing is, again, this is just a quick 30 seconds who we are. I apologize. We'll get into it. We do provide training so you can become the expert. I was in the digital forensics software training field for quite some time. For those of you who know who I am. And, I taught a lot of things to do with software, but not a lot to do with what goes on behind the buttons. So that's kind of what the new philosophy here is to make you become the expert and you understand what goes on behind those buttons. We can deliver, obviously, our training online, on demand, or live and in person. So there you have it. And guess kind of who we are is consultants, coaches, researchers, geeks, and podcasters, because I have started a podcast up. I've only got like about 1 or 2 episodes out there, but it is gaining some traction. So I enjoy it. You can tell by my voice. I was in radio like early days of my career for like 7 years. So hence the voice that you got going there. So here's kind of what we offer real quickly out front there. We partnered with some few strategic partners to offer some great information for you. If you're looking for JTAG chip-off courses, some Python courses, which I absolutely love those. We also offer some basic mobile digital forensics, Twitter forensics using Python. And then obviously what you're going to see here is kind of a really nitpicked version of the main class for Decryption Essentials. That's our main course. And then, of course, we have smartphone forensics. So who am I? Well, I'm your instructor for the day, or at least for the next 30 minutes or so. I am the owner and founder of AVAIRY Forensic Solutions. I'm a former vice president of a top forensic software company, and I got 20 years in law enforcement. I still maintain my commission, even though I've been out of it full time for about 5 years now, and been involved in digital forensics since about 2002. I advised on 2 subcommittees for the Republican National Convention that was held right here. That's where I'm out of, by the way, is Cleveland, Ohio. I'm just about 30 minutes to the west of Cleveland, not too long to get into town. I sat on 2 subcommittees for that. Also a former adjunct professor for the Ohio Northern University. It's in Ada, Ohio. And if you've not heard of that, that's okay. It's a really small town, but there is a university there. Absolutely. If you want to know more about me or anything like that, you can do a search for me on LinkedIn or Twitter. I am not the WWMA fighter. just for clarification, there is a WWMA fighter on one of those. I can't remember which one it is, and it's definitely not me. I get it handed to me for that. So this is kind of the full course overview of what you'll get during the full course, and I'm not going to bore you with commercials because I absolutely hate doing commercials. But unfortunately, being a new startup company, which I just started this company in January, so I kind of just want to get it out there. This is some of the things we'll teach you in the full class. Some basic decryption techniques, introduction to some free tools. I'm huge on open source technologies. And if we can do something for free for the same thing that we can do something at a vendor, it just depends on your personal tastes. I usually choose the freeway. That's just me, but it's entirely up to you. We'll show you how to go through and open up iTunes backups. I may have time for that yet today. If not, I did do a webinar on that one, which you can look at our YouTube channel at AVAIRY Forensics and find that one. Specifically, it shows you how to crack iOS backups or iTunes backups from iOS devices. So that one's out there. I may or may not get that today. Android gesture keys. We are going to cover Android full disk encryption. So if you're doing JTAG or chip off, I'll show you how to get into that. Also, 1password, which is a very popular password manager. If you're doing forensics and you come across the agile, the keys, we'll show you how to get into that. Also, TrueCrypt, VeriCrypt, and then obviously now you can crack in the cloud. So if your computer isn't all that speedy, you can utilize some of Amazon's web services. But I do know, and I think I saw him come in the room real briefly. Yeah, Manny is in the room. So I know over at Somari that they're working on building some boxes for that purpose of being able to crack decryption or encryption a little bit better than obviously using a standalone machine. All right, so right here, what is cryptography? Let's get into this and figure out what this is. So encryption is essentially the process of encoding a message or information. And what we're going to be talking about is the information specifically in this quick webinar is in such a way that only authorized parties can access it. So we'll show you some of the challenges in media to get through it and some of the options that you might have. And personally, I found that the tool I'm going to show you with Hashcat is probably one of the most versatile and quick tools. Now, it is fairly advanced tool, but I will show you how to utilize it. So with encryption, here's the basics for it if you've not been exposed to it. Now, this is more as a message opposed to content, but they work all similarly how they function. So if, I was getting sent a message, you can see here in the upper right corner of this, hello, Kevin, and it's sent over to be encrypted. Well, my public key can be utilized to encrypt that information. So once that is encrypted, it's passed along and sent through. And the only way to decrypt this message is to utilize my private key, which only I have. So it's a one-way crypt, right? Only I have the private key. I can then decrypt that message and receive it. And the same works similarly to how we're going to look at some of these other devices. Now, we're going to be dealing with more information than we are anything else than messages. We can cover messages probably at another future one, but obviously when we're looking at decryption or encryption, we're looking at the storage level generally in a database, or we're looking at some type of storage method. So some of the required applications that you're going to need, if you're going to go do this on your own, I would highly recommend that you utilize Kali Linux. You don't have to. If you're a Windows user and you absolutely hate Linux, then don't use it. So most of these tools are cross-platform. That's why I picked them. And every tool that I'm going to show you is absolutely 100% free. All right, is absolutely 100% free. So obviously you can start off with Windows or Mac. You need a computer of some type, right, to do this. Or if you just want to start off with your default Linux installation, you can do that as well. I'm a big Parallels fan. I'm a Mac user myself, but I actually downloaded and installed VirtualBox because it's cross-platform. It can be used on Linux. It can be used on Mac. It can be used on Windows. It can be used on any one of those platforms, and it's absolutely free. And then you can go out to the Kali Linux website and download the VirtualBox VM. Everything's free. You just got to go grab it and snatch it up. And then you can utilize everything that I'm going to show you here. Also, I didn't put my email address or anything in this presentation. I'll make sure I get it to you guys before we're done here at the bottom of the hour, or hopefully I'll be done at the bottom of the hour. And that way, if you guys have any questions over this, feel free to reach out to me. If you need to set up your own box or your own environment here, I can help you out. There's no issues there. And oh yeah, I mean, this nice little Morpheus slide last night. I'm not going to bore you to death with a power presentation. Matter of fact, that is the absolute last slide that you're going to see here. So I'm not going to read slides to you. I'm going to just get into it and show you some actual practical information that you can utilize day to day. So I'm going to escape out of here and I'm going to slide this out of our view. Let me move this over. All right. All right. Any problems with, if somebody could post into chat or something, any problems hearing me, seeing the slide deck, or you should be seeing like a blank screen that just says AVAIRY Forensic Solutions now. Everybody good? I'm hoping there's no way to like do a thumbs up or anything on this one. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just simply slide my screen over to this black screen. I've already brought up my Kali Linux installation here. I can't talk and type at the same time, so you'll hear me pause and you'll hear a mash rad of typing going on, and I'll go back. My brain's not multi-threaded, unfortunately. So this is just Kali Linux. That's it. It's an absolutely free installation. Just do a Google search on Kali Linux and pull it down. And I am using this in a virtual machine. So there is some tricks to some things that you need to use some of these techniques in a virtual machine. Because Hashcat, which we're going to be talking about this entire session, is doesn't like virtual machines. It likes a real solid machine where it can access either CPUs that are in there, or it also likes to access your graphics card. That's what it prefers to utilize. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring up and I'm going to do a quick search for Hashcat here. Okay, here's the Hashcat website. So if you need to know where to get this but it's already pre-installed on Kali Linux, so that's why I didn't want to mess with it. There is a Windows binaries here for it. If you go in here and look, it'll start and download and unzip that thing, and there'll be a Windows binary for it. There's no real installation. You just unzip the thing, and you just have to run the commands that we're going to run from the same directory that where you unpacked it at. So I'm actually running Hashcat on the Mac as well, but I'm going to show you everything. I like running it on my Mac because it's got a pretty decent graphics card into it, and it likes to utilize that. So I'm going to show you some of the differences in that. So it's a pretty hefty tool. You can see here, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down through here. Everything that it's able to do with its various algorithms. When we're talking specifically about the software I'm going to show you, it'll crack everything from MD5s, and you can see every possible pattern that it has in here. There's a few things, obviously, it does not do, but I know the development team that works on this is constantly adding new things to it. What we're going to be looking at in this particular session here is I'm going to try to get to the iTunes backups. I don't know why they just didn't call it 9, because it's iTunes backup less than 10. Anyway, iTunes 9 or the latest version of iTunes backups, it will crack both of those in multiple fashions. You can use dictionary attacks, you can use brute force attacks, you can use hybrid attacks. We'll talk about those a little bit. It'll also pull apart some of the Samsung Android password PIN combinations. Here's one that I'm not going to show. I haven't had a Windows phone in order to test this out. It does do Windows Phone 8 Plus, so it does say it does the current one. My guess is that It has to be a decrypted device, and yeah, obviously to get to it, you're gonna have to use a JTAG or chip-off type technique in order to get to the information here. So what we are gonna focus on, though, is a few of these things right down here. Where did you hide at? Where did you hide? There we go. So I'm going to show you this password one agile keychain. So if you see this stored on an iPhone or an Android device and you're able to pull it out, or pull it out for that reason, for that is, I pulled this one off right off my Mac. You can pull it off your Windows machine. And then if you can get access to the one single password utilized to lock up all the passwords, then you have access to every single password that is obviously in the person's suite. And I apologize, I forgot to mute my iPad, and it's setting across the room, so it's gonna. I'll just have to hopefully keep trying to reach over and hit ignore anything that goes on with it. And the next thing that we're going to show you also on here is its ability to do Android. And I didn't see that running through the list on here. Android full disk encryption. So what that means is, like, if you come across an Android and it's fully encrypted and your tools that you're using aren't supporting the decryption of it, well, this is an extra method that you can utilize to still pull it via JTAG, still pull it via chip off, and get that information out and decrypt it. Oh, here it is right in front of my face. So here's the Android full disk encryption. This one is less than Android version 4.3. So if you got an older phone or a tablet there, but I'm going to show you the current version for Samsung, and it's called DEK. Now, these are always changing, and man, each manufacturer, especially on this one here, does their own thing with encryption. But let's get into this and show you this. What I would recommend, and highly recommend, is that you get a big, nice word list in order to utilize against your target. What I mean by that is build some words that you think may or may not be used as the password or combination of words. And you're going, well, how in the world do I do that? Well, there's a ton of them out there. There's some basic common password sites that freely distribute and publish these. And I've actually got one right here called RockU, which I've added to over time. And what this one is, and I'm just going to open it and I'll close it real quick because it may kill. Hopefully it won't kill it here. So yeah, there you go. So it's loading up now, and you'll see there's just a ton of combinations here. I'm going to go ahead and edit anyway on this. Actually, I think there's around over 5 million combinations that are in this RockU one here. Is it this one that's over 5 million? This one may not be. Yeah, because see, it takes the memory from my screen and actually turns it black. If it's still on there, I can highlight and see, because again, I'm running this VM and it doesn't like this. I'm up to 480,000 some plus, and it's still loading this. I'm not going to let it load the entire way because putting all these words out visually is kind of a challenge. I don't need it visually. I just need it to be able to utilize this and crack this. And if you guys want this, I can provide a link for it, but it's out there for free distribution. You just got to search for the RockU one. And again, I've added to that over time. I've actually built some of my own, which I'm going to talk about here right now. So if you need to create a password list, you can do that fairly easy. Now, I'm going to show you here. I've built some things in Wine here. What Wine is just an emulator, so I can run Windows tools on my my Linux distribution. This thing is fairly dated. You can see it was last messed with in 2011, but I'm showing it to you. It's called Wordlist Compiler version 2, and it's from a website called lastbit.com. You might want to write that down. Lastbit.com. And oh, by the way, I am recording this because I've had several requests for a recording, and we'll post it out there in case you miss something or don't write something down. And this is a free word list compiler. It will create word lists for free based on the information you point at it. It's like, what do you mean, Kevin? Well, let me show you here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and say add. I'm going to create a new word list. And if you have, now I know some commercial tools will do this. I know Access Data's FTK will do this, and probably a few others that I'm not familiar with. But if you need to create a word list based off of your suspect or whoever you're looking at, that tool will do that. Of course, that's a paid tool. Or if you have an image with some of their information on it and you can point to it, you can do a directory scan right here. And it's like, okay, where do you want to point this thing at? I want to actually scan all files that it comes across. And I'm going to browse just to my, oh goodness, this is going to take a minute to do. So I'll just kind of show you here. I'll put it at the manifest files here. Does that have a big password in it? I don't think. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it to that directory. And I'm going to tell it to scan everything in that directory. There, that was pretty quick. Normally it takes a little bit if you point it at a real data set. It will go through and scan, and you can see that it's going to add 1,937 words based off of anything that was in that directory that it was able to pull out. So then I'm just going to save this word list, and I'll save it out to my my desktop here so you guys can take a look at it. And again, don't look at these file structures. I know they're a little bit bizarre. I'll just call this the test list. Save that out there. And lowercase is fine. Yep. And we can append to it if we need. It likes to give stats of everything. So here I'm going to go ahead and open this up with a text editor. And you can see that it went and looked into that, and it just started pulling out everything that it thought was a word or that could possibly be used as a password in there. So it helps build your list based off okay, hey, someone just told me that I just saw come up in chat that Encase can also build a dictionary. Awesome. I wasn't aware of that. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I'm not an Encase user, so that's good news to know. So if you're an Encase user, obviously you can use that as well. That's great. And you can see through here, and yeah, definitely it picked up some stuff because I'm a Cedar Point goer if you're up here in Ohio. And then various other things that it's able to pull all this information out. Now you see it's not picking up any special characters or anything that way. It is limited on what it can do, but you can add those things in to Hashcat, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So that's the basic word list right there, and I'm going to move forward because I'm seeing that, my goodness, I talk a lot, and we're jumping through the time here pretty quick. So what I want to show you first is this password one agile keychain. Okay, so this is a file. It looks like a folder in Linux because Linux recognizes it as such, but it's actually, it appears as a file, or should appear as a file. It does on my Mac machine, but Linux recognizes it as a compressed file, and it pulls all the information out. This is used to store all of my main password information. And if we look into this thing, you can see here that it's storing, as I dig through here, all of this stuff. All of this stuff it's looking at. And this is all of the accounts and passwords that I have stored into my own personal account here. So don't worry, I've already changed the name for this thing because we're going to go ahead and crack it. But inside of here, there's this little file that you're interested in, and it's right here called encryptedkeys.js, which stands for JavaScript. Okay, and what's in this little file is, let me show you this thing, is a bunch of base 64 information that's encrypted. It's first, it looks like it's in, yeah, it's in JavaScript /JSON display. And then you see a lot of base 64 that's needs translated away from base 64 in order to get the values. I'm not going to go down in the weeds on this one, but I do want to show you that we can indeed encrypt or decrypt this information based off some tools. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and open up a command line to, let's get into the weeds of this and start cracking this thing. Now, there is a little tool right here You see this .pl? It's called 1password agile keychain to Hashcat Perl script. Okay, PL stands for Perl script. Sorry, I just chat's catching my eye here. People making comments. That's fine. So we can actually not have to dig through that thing. I can go ahead and pull those files right out, or the pieces of information I need, right with this little script. So from here, I can just run, oops, nope, I'm going to run this. Let's see, where am I at here? Let me find my path. Oop. I need to go to my desktop, and then I need to go to the webinar. There we go. All right, so I'm going to make sure I'm in the right path to where I'm at. So from here, I can run this one password Perl script. And I don't type really that fast. If you guys didn't know, that little tab button is your friend when you're at the command line. It will complete things if there's nothing else that's similar to it. So I didn't have to type all this stuff. So that's just going to run this Perl script, and I'm going to run it against this let's do this 1password. Let me make sure I got this right. Oh, it's not going to do it right here. So 1password keychain. There we go. And I know in there's one called data or default something. There is data. Another one's called default. And this one then is the encrypted keys JavaScript. So what this is going to do, and I'm going to run this twice. First one is going to show you what it's going to come out with, the output on it. And the second one then is going to, we're going to put it in store it in a file so we can begin cracking on it. So we have the file, and there I'm going to go ahead and hit go, and it literally just extracts everything out of the file that you need. Now this is ugly. Would you agree? There's two keys in here. There's this one, and then there is this one, which they're pretty ugly, and I don't want to deal with them in this fashion. So I am not going to deal with them in this fashion. So what we need to do now is get them out into a way that they're more manageable. So to do that, we can just put the greater sign, and we can just say 1password stuff.txt. So what it's going to do is it's created a nice little file right here with all of that stuff in it, right? There it is. So 1password stuff.txt. So now all I need is this first line, and I can copy that out. I can double click that, copy that first line out, because I'm going to use this now in my my Hashcat. So let me clear this out so you guys can see this a little bit better. Sorry, every time I turn my face away from my microphone, the volume goes down. Let me move this in front of me here a little bit where it's not so overwhelming. Okay, so there we have it. What we need to do now is run this thing, and I've created a list of some cheat sheet stuff that I can utilize for this particular class. Let me see, is this my password list? Yep, I created a password list that we're going to use there. And then I created my cheat sheets, right? Nope, that's not it. Right. Give me 1 second to find that crazy thing. There it is, Hashcat commands. So I don't have to remember all these things, because it is quite a bit to remember. And if you guys want these things, just kick me an email at kevin@avairyforensicsolutions.com, and I'll send you literally all of this, or I'll post it up there on the, because I'll probably end up posting this on YouTube, and I'll just post all of these things for download, so you can have it as well. All right, so let me go ahead and grab this first command right there, and we'll copy that out there. So I'm going to go ahead and just start typing here. Hashcat is the command that we want to utilize. Now, for our purposes, normally what you would do in a Hashcat scenario is you don't have to put this command in here, but I have to force it to stop giving me errors, because it realizes that, hey, I can't find a real graphics card attached to this virtual machine, and I can't find a real processor attached to this virtual machine. So I had to load a couple things into the Hashcat installation, which you're going to see right. That's one of the first things that I opened up here, and I will get you this list right here. These are what you need to install, and it's literally just typing that line or copying and paste that line into your command, and it will do it for you. You don't have to worry about that in order to get this to work. So we're going to force this thing into utilizing a certain device. That's what this -D means. And I'm going to use a device 1, which I'm going to tell it, hey, use the CPU. This is not the best way to utilize Hashcat by any means, but we are in a VM. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to put that at all, and it would just come up and start cracking stuff for you and would say, hey, we're using whatever, however many CPUs you have or how many ever GPUs that you have. It's going to utilize and take advantage of these things, okay? All right, so there we're going to go. We're going to say, all right, I want that. And the mode then that I want a mode here, and for our purposes, it's 6600. Now, let me show you why it's 6600 here. Again, can't type and talk at the same time. So I just type Hashcat help here, and or dash or tac help, however you want to say it. Let me stretch this out enough so we can all see it in all of its glory. But this gives you the detailed list of Hashcat's modes, everything that it can be run in. And as if I dig down here and I go down and I look, these aren't in a lot of order on this particular one. Right here, you can see I'm going to attack a password 1 agile keychain. I have to use mode 6600 for this. You can see it will attack some other things, but this is the mode that I want, the 6600 mode. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out, and I've typed that already in there for us. And then I need the information from that file that we pulled out, which is all of the information that it extracted, which it's this line right here. This is all the keys. All the keys that I pulled out, I'm going to paste right in there. So there you can see it's kind of a hefty command, but I could run this against the text file too, but I'm going to go ahead and just run it this way. And then what I need to do is tell it, how do I want to attack this thing? So I want to tell it the attack mode. And what the attack mode is it allows us to select how we want to go after this particular thing. So I'm going to go Hashcat, tac help again. Ooh, not help. I am in Ohio, so we might spell it that way. But let me spread this out here for you guys so you can see it a little bit. You can see the types of devices it uses here, and I'm going to slide up right to here. So these are the modes that are attack modes that we're going to go after here. And this is a straight attack. What I mean is I'm going to use a dictionary against this. They call it a straight attack. But I'm going to use a dictionary. You could use a combination. You could brute force it. You could use a hybrid, which is a word list, and a mask, which is a brute force, or hybrid brute force and a word list. So there's a bunch of different options that you can utilize here. But for our purposes here, I'm going to use 0 because that's the straightforward or dictionary attack that we created a word list, and we're going to run it against this thing. And the word list that I'm going to use here is this iPassword _ list .text here. That's the one that I collected from some investigations of my suspects, or it's one maybe I've downloaded or however. And if you want to brute force it, you can do that too. Just be prepared to take a long time, or it may be impossible to do. We're ready to go, but what I'm going to do is one last command that you can choose to ignore or not. What this is this pot file is where it stores your passwords that it has cracked in the past, and I don't remember if I have done this one. If I did, it'll go by really quick. But I want to show you a true-to-life look on this thing. Now, it's going to crack pretty quick because obviously I have the password in there. I just want to show you something that it's able to do here. Let me pull this thing up. And you can see this yellow text down here is it's realizing it's in a virtual machine. not that yellow text, but if I slide up here, it's realizing it's in a virtual machine and it's utilizing some of the code that I downloaded and put in there. It's not utilizing the graphics processor. And you can see that it used right here, device number 1, it used the Intel Core that I have in this machine through virtualization. Again, hopefully you got some good graphics card. That's really where you want it to do it. Oh, great. I see Xways builds a dictionary list too, is what Roger just said there in chat. That's awesome. And you can see here then that we were successful in this particular one. And what it does is it tacks it on to the end of this. And there is my my password. So if you go to log into my 1password, I have changed this. That's the password that we had here for that. So very cool stuff that we're able to pull through. And I got to look at the time here real quick. Oh, I've already gone past my mark. But if you guys want to hang out, you're welcome to do so, because I do want to show you the Android full disk encryption also on here. So again, all I'd have to do is either I could start up to get this information first from 1password. All I'd have to do is I could load 1password up and take that agile key and attach it to my account, my test account that I've set up, and then I just enter that password, and then I have access to that individual's keychain with all their passwords that they have stored in there. So great information there. Oh, it looks like yeah, Manny, I'm getting some private messages that are coming in, yeah, that's Manny is building Hashcat into the Paladin product. That's awesome, because if you haven't checked out Sumori's Paladin product, it's pretty cool. And I know Manny's working on some other Hashcat machines that'll like really be hefty monsters to help you guys out. Do that if you're interested and in their stuff. But building in the Paladin, because again, this is open source. It's everything I'm showing you is absolutely free. So the last thing that I want to show you guys here real quick is how to go after a Android full encrypted device. Go after the full encrypted device here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go open Hex Workshop, and I'm going to open a few things here. I'm going to open up, let me see, go up here. I'm going to open up an actual chip off right here of a Samsung J100MU phone. And here it is. It's an actual chip off that you can see that the data right here is fully encrypted. All of this stuff is fully encrypted on this phone. So what I have done in advance, and for time's sake, is I'm going to open up a bookmark file set. Is the Samsung DEK. So this is utilizing Samsung's current, did I say current? Yeah, current encryption scheme on this. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to jump down here to the header. Here's the header that you need to search for. It's C5, B1, B5, D0, all hexadecimal. Technically, it reads D1, B5, B1, C5, but little Indian versus big Indian, it's all the same when you're looking for a header in that for me. So you can pull this thing out there. I see some people asking where I can find the private encryption key in the PC. What's the pass for 1password? It depends on where they stored it. They can choose where they want to store that 1password. And that agile encryption key I want to add is for the free account. So a lot of people utilize the free account. I was using it, and I ended up getting a paid account. So it's a really popular file to find. So you just have to look around for it and see where they may have stored it. But it's always called that. It's called 1password .agile something or other keychain. So here again is the Android raw chip off. You can see right here, it's just a raw chip off, and I found the encryption header right here. So once you get the encryption header, you want to come down here, and I think it's, I can't remember how many bytes are in between it, 76 or something like that, 129 in between that generally. Joys of working in a VM here. Let me just go back to this. There we go. My Magic Mouse doesn't like my my Linux VM. So we go down here and we grab 80 bytes, exactly 80 bytes of information. Oops, that one's wrong. I got to grab that right there. My bookmark was wrong. I just realized that. So this is the decryption key right here. This is the key that you need to decrypt the Samsung DEK encryption method. So all you do is you go to Edit and you go to copy this out, and it's literally that simple. Going in there and grabbing it. So then you just go ahead and we'll minimize. Oops, not that one. Let's minimize the whole thing right there. And I'm going to make sure I get this right here. So if you can't find that header, here's another thing that you can search for right there. It's called AES CBC ESSIV SHA-256. Grab that information out of there. And again, I'll make these things fully accessible to you if you so need them. But let's go ahead and pump this into to Hashcat here. I'm going to go ahead and tell Hashcat that we are going to decrypt this thing. And again, I have to force my mode here. Otherwise, I normally wouldn't have to force it device 1. It should work smooth if you have this installed on a standard machine. And then I have to tell it what type of mode that I want. So I got to go, all right, -M. What is the mode for the Android DEK attack? So I just slide up here and I go find my Android Samsung DEK right here. It is 12900. So I just go 12900 and I tell it, hey, there it is. And then I literally just paste that encryption key in there and I space out of it. Then I have to tell it what type of attack mode that I'm going to do. You can use a brute force or a mask, which is that one. But we're going to use a dictionary just like that because I've built a dictionary on this. And I think it is the same dictionary that I have been using in order to pull this information out. And is that everything I need? Something looks like it's missing on this one. Nope, that might be it. Oh, I'm going to go to pot file, path. Again, you guys don't have to do this. Equals test pot. That's just where it remembers passcodes. I may have cracked this one already. And we'll go ahead and chuck it. What it does is it checks for weak hashes. What weak hashes are something that's set by default for 0. The guy who builds Hashcat, go ahead, and he actually runs these against the real data sets. So you get an idea of that it'll really crack them and not just in theory. He tests each one of these things. So you can see here that it did indeed crack that one right there, pulled that thing out. There is the passcode. So all you'd have to do is literally go to the handset of the Android device and decrypt this thing. Or you could utilize tools to decrypt the full disk encryption, utilizing that password right there, this QAZXS2, in order to pull that out. So there is the Android full disk encryption too. Now keep in mind, this was a canned thing, so it does take a while to do these. So this is all for demonstration. Obviously, because of our time that we have here in the session, but it can take a long time. Let me give you an example here of what a long time looks like. I'm going to go ahead and tell it I want a mask attack on here, and I want the mask attack to be a lowercase. Oops, lowercase, 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 lowercase. That's what I'm doing right now, is telling it I want all lowercase. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lowercases. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lowercases followed by the number 2. Say I knew part of the password, right? And I knew it was ended in a 2, and I know it had certain digits in here. We can run this thing. And oh, doggone it. Because it already knew what my, remember I told you it already had cracked this one. So this is a real easy fix to do. See this, I should have one called, on webinar called test pot right there. I just go and I move that thing to trash. There we go. Now I'll give you an example of how this thing's going to do it. So it'll run through here, and it's going to go ahead and go through this. I can push S for status at any point, and it's telling me here's where it's testing these two. Now, if you have multiple GPUs attached, this thing is amazingly fast. This VM is not the best way to do this at all. And it tells you approximately how long it's going to take to go through every iteration that you have. Now, again, this is actually, if you use this on a normal machine, it'll go by pretty quick. It'll go by not a full day in 23 hours, but it will go through there. And it shows you how many passwords are being guessed all at the same time. So I love Hashcat with a passion. It is a more advanced tool, but once you get that command line, what you exactly need, and grab the information, it is completely awesome. And I have cracked, countless passwords with this thing. Some of them I haven't. It never finished. But I don't give up. I keep trying different combinations, or I'll put it on a smaller machine I'm not utilizing, and just let it run. Like if my large machine, I run it through 1 through 6 or 7 passcodes and it didn't find it, then I'll start running the 7s on it, or I'll run the 8s on it, or something of that nature to see if I can get a proper combination down to pull these things out. But again, it's hard to show you all this stuff and all the information that goes into Hashcat just in a quick 30 minutes, which I'm already gone on 45 minutes. I've gone over my time. But I hope that gives you guys a direction to work in if you're dealing with a lot of encryption, especially with mobile phones or any type of password files of that nature. So by all means, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, I am going to do this right now. I'm going to put my, I can't type and talk at the same time, right? There we go. So it's Kevin at AVAIRYForensicSolutions.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, which some of you guys probably found that, or Twitter, which I was advertising all of those on. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'll open it for questions here real quick. If you guys are interested in in questions, I'll scroll up here and take a look. So I had a question here. I won't mention names of any of the questions that come in because I see some of them are coming in privately, which is fine. So I won't say names here. Is there a way to tell what type of hash algorithm was used on a file if you don't know that you can apply the proper attack? So here's the challenge with that. Absolutely no. There is no way to determine what the algorithm is. The only way to do it is to know the tool that was utilized. So obviously, if it's 1password, we know the types of we know the types of attacks that were, or encryption that was utilized. So therefore, we can use the a proper one. But other than that, no, there is not anything like that, which is really quite sad. Unfortunately, I had a question: where can you find any white papers or cheat sheets for TrueCrypt? So the TrueCrypt stuff is kind of evil, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I have got it to work, but it's been in a very controlled environment. So with TrueCrypt, there are so many different combinations that the user can select. Right here is TrueCrypt's, right? And this is 62, and then it's XY. Well, it's not really XY. It depends on the type of encryption that they utilized to do this. And this can be the devil trying to figure this thing out on how to pull this information out. And if you need more information on TrueCrypt, yeah. So no, there's no way to tell by looking at the encryption. There's absolutely zero way to tell what was being done. You're going to have to kind of poke around in here and try to figure it out. But something I want to show you guys here real quick. Hashcat has this thing called right here example hashes that's available on their website. And they're going to show you here, like specifically with, let me see if I can find that that crazy TrueCrypt one. There's all the Veracrypt ones. I'm hoping they have a TrueCrypt. If you guys see it, yell, right? I don't think I could hear you anyway. So here is the Veracrypt, which is really similar to how TrueCrypt works, but let me see if we can find the TrueCrypt ones. I don't see it off the top. Here's KeyPass. So here's an example. Obviously, I just showed you the full disk encryption on that one. But they have a lot of samples of how their code expects to see this. I don't see the TrueCrypt. Yeah, here's the TrueCrypt stuff up here. So on how these things are supposed to look. So if it was using TrueCrypt 5 or newer, and they were using Whirlpool, Serpent, Twofish, AES, you can click this. And I'm going to open this with a hex editor so you can see what this is supposed to look like. This is what you're supposed to feed Hashcat. This is the type of information that you need to grab for this. And this really doesn't help much, does it, on this particular one? You know what? I was doing some research with TrueCrypt. It's been about 5 months ago. So if you want to reach out to me on that, I can kind of point you in the right direction, because I successfully cracked one of my containers that I had, a TrueCrypt container. I actually forgot the password to it. I knew kind of what it was, but I couldn't remember exactly. So I utilized that. I utilized Hashcat to get the rest of it, and it worked out fine for me. I did need to grab some key pieces of information out of the volume, or it was actually a small container about the size. I think it was 5 gigs that I had on there that I was able to pull out. All right, let me look for any more questions that you guys might have here. All right, nope, that is it. All right, any more questions on it? Again, I know I didn't really show you a whole lot, but I do want to kind of guide you over to our YouTube, because I didn't get to cover the iTunes backups. And so let me go over here and just search AVAIRY Forensic Solutions in YouTube, and you'll see it right here, cracked encrypted iOS backups with Hashcat, and you get to listen to me another 30 minutes here. But what we do is I'll walk you through literally on how to pull the information out, what key pieces of information that you need in order to pull that out of your iTunes manifest file, and actually how to go in to utilize it. And then again, all free source, open source tools in order to do that. And I'm cracking iTunes backups left and right with that. It's actually fairly easy to do. 10 are a little bit more challenging, but you can go ahead and watch that there. And I might be able to put this just into, I don't think I can copy and paste between the two. Let me see. Copy. Paste. Yes, I can. So I'm going to send this to everyone. There, I just put it in the chat, so you guys should have the URL for it. All right, hey, that's it. I want to wrap up, and thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate it. If you guys any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me. You guys should all have my information here. So it's Kevin at AVAIRYForensicSolutions.com, and you can visit AVAIRYForensicSolutions.com if you want to learn more. Again, this is a full 2-day course that I've packed down into essentially 45 minutes that I could give to you. If not, you guys take care and have an awesome week, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.